Hey everyone, my name's Pupsker, and today we're going over some prime farming tips and tricks because, my god, I had to farm so many primes recently, and I still have to farm so many primes. If you don't know, primes and void relics are unlocked when you get this void relic segment here. You run these void relics and you get prime parts. Now, I was mainly collecting prime parts for ducats for Baroque, but I ended up mainly building a lot of things. I ended up building Mesa Prime, I ended up building my Redeemer Prime. I'm currently building Zephyr Prime, Mesa, Wukong. They are just because I collected materials, but hey, I built up my Redeemer Prime and everything. So it has been a successful farm for me, so I just want to give everyone some tips on how to make it a successful farm for you. So if we look at void fissures here, we'll quickly go over what are fast and easy void fissures. Exterminate, I would recommend running that. Excavation, I would not run that. Defense, I would not run that. Crossfire, Infestation, yeah, you can probably run that. Defense would not run that, and Exterminate, I would run that. You can also run Sabotages, you can also run Captures, and you can also run Rescues. Those are just the faster void fissures to actually run, purely because you are not limited to the 5-minute timer that something like a defense would have, or a survival would have. Like, defenses are okay if you want to run those, and if you bring like a speed nova to get everything to run to the center fast and spawn a lot quicker. It's just, I know a lot of people don't prefer defense, and running things like exterminate or rescues are just a lot faster than a defense. Survivals are no matter what 5 minutes, so those just aren't efficient to run. So yeah, run whatever you need, and run preferably that. Now let's talk about the efficiency of void relics. So as you know, the list of void relics goes Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii, meaning that you should really only refine and level up your Axii relics. This is purely because Axies are the hardest to get, they're the most rare technically, so if you have a lot of high tier primes that you actually need to get, like Soma Prime Stock, Torpedo Prime, I think these are, like some of these might be vaulted, yeah. Anyways, like Corinth Prime Barrel, it is definitely a good idea to upgrade these to Radiant. Realistically, if you need something and you're like, I need it now, upgrade whatever you need, right? It's your choice. You can always farm more void traces. So there's no problem there whatsoever. It's also important to note that if you run Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, you will get void relics that are already upgraded. Upgraded void relics are purely just a part of Elite Sanctuary Onslaught's drop table. So if you ever need things to level up and you have max level Warframes, but you need weapons to level up, I would recommend run Elite Sanctuary Onslaught for a little bit. You won't get any resource drops, you'll only get mission drops, but you will get Radiant upgraded type relics. They're not all Radiant, they're, you know, anything in between, but it's honestly a good boost just to get more ducats in general if you need to level up some weapons. Other than that, let's just talk about grinding in general. So, void fissure grinding in Warframe has always been one of those things that it's like you just need to do. It's one of the main parts of Warframe, in my opinion. Farming up ducats, farming up primes, void fissures. It's why like relics drop from literally everything too, right? It's because it's one of the main parts of the game. It's a good way to make a lot of platinum, or at least a little bit of platinum if you want to trade. And it's just a good way to get stronger and collect a ton of strong weapons and warframes. So some general etiquette tips are as follows. Usually when you're running public groups for void fissures and people end up dropping the same item, pick the other person's item just so they get 5 extra void traces, and usually they'll pick your item so you get 5 extra void traces. My specific strategy is I like to have 2 of every prime part. The main reason being is some primes require 2 parts to be built, and I like to collect 2 of every part so that I can just kind of idly bypass actually thinking about how many parts I need to make a prime, so I just collect 2 of everything. It's also good so that if things get vaulted, you can sell a couple for a higher price in platinum later on. Because trust me, my prime list in my inventory is pretty high. I don't have a ton of vaulted relics these days, purely because I didn't grind a ton of them 2-3 years ago when I started playing more. But hey, it is what it is, right? I do have a ton of vaulted prime blueprints, but I don't have a lot of vaulted prime blueprint sets. So in my opinion, it's just generally a good idea to collect about 2, maybe even 3 of everything, but 2 just to get started. The thing about Warframe is primes are just kind of the primary thing in the game, right? It's one of those major things. Like, primes are huge, rivens are huge. It's just one of those activities that you can grind hundreds of hours on if you so choose. And I myself haven't done that. I'm missing so many primed parts, mods. I'm missing pretty much 90% of items Baroka tier sells. So I just need to get on that, but I'm pretty lazy. So hey, who knows when that might happen, right? In general though, void fissure farming isn't really that hard. I would recommend, obviously, always picking the highest ducat value item. So generally that goes gold, silver, and bronze. But if you're running some like lith relics, sometimes silver drops can actually only be 15 ducat items. So it is important to watch out and look for those when you're actually picking out primes when you want to sell them for ducats. But if you're purely picking up things just to actually make the primes, then yeah, just grab things you don't have, obviously. When I was prime farming, I think I ended up farming for like 3-4 hours. I probably got thousands of ducats in total, but that's a story for another time. I ended up popping all of my relics that were actually upgraded. So I actually just let my group know, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be popping a lot of like radiant upgraded neo relics, so if you just want to like stand by, just because I was farming a lot of like very specific items, I was like, if you want to stand by, just, you know, feel free to do so. Some of them are vaulted, so hey, you guys could get some vaulted items. And fun fact, I got like 3 or 4 100 ducat rares out of like 6 or 7 radiant relics. But sadly, this time while I was farming primes, the primary goal was just I wanted to collect a lot more primes that I didn't already have. And clearly I've done that since I'm building Mesa Prime, I'm building Zephyr Prime, I built a Redeemer Prime, I built a, God, what is it, like the Akjabra Prime? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names in this game because some of the names are just so wacky. But I built a lot of primes, and I still need to build multiple primed companions and weapons, etc., etc. But hey, I'd say the goal was definitely out there. It's important to note you can also just search like recruiting chat for people with specific relics, and you can do relic sharing, you know? It's when everyone tries and equips certain relics for specific primes, and everyone in the group does it for the same primes, thus pretty much increasing your chance at certain primes. Sometimes the groups might have rules where it's like, hey guys, we're popping this specific relic only on Radiant, so if you don't have Void Traces or don't have any Radiance, like don't, you know, don't message me, right? So yeah. A lot of the time, I'm a lazy player, right? So I just like to run into pugs and just use my relics. Like, I just like to play the game, okay? I'm not the type of person that needs to min-max every single time I play Warframe. I do like to min-max void fissures in the sense that I run the fast ones, but I do like to run survival void fissures if I do need resources. Same with defense. If you need maybe like more just general resource drops, yeah, run those. If you don't care about like peak efficiency, hell yeah, run those. Like, it obviously it doesn't matter. Just play the game however you want. But hey, I collected a ton of ducats and a ton of primes over the weekend, so I'm happy. Anyways, guys, if this helped you at all, or if you liked the video, please comment, like, favorite, subscribe. Check out some of my other Warframe videos. I'm trying to get out Warframe videos every day or 2 right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty busy over the winter doing that, but hey, it's a pretty fun time, right? So I'd appreciate all the support you can give me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.